Madam Toastmaster, your speech was like a chocolate cake, announced the evaluator. One rich in flavour, cream, and delicious chocolate. It is a speech that should be savoured, one slice at a time. Fellow Toastmasters, it is not often that I am lost for words, but I was that evening. Well, let me take you back. I'd been called by our district director. "Hello," he said. "I hear you're looking for a new challenge. How about being the test speaker at the upcoming evaluation contest? You will really be tested." Test speaker at an evaluation contest, eh? Not something that I'd done before. So I said, yes. Well, I prepared my speech, and on the night, I gave what I thought was a very good speech. And then the evaluation contestant started. One of the contestants said, "It was fascinating to see how the speaker used the ABC structure, which gave it form and made the speech easy to follow." ABC structure? I had no idea what an ABC structure was. I had no idea had I used it or not. And this evaluator just rambled on and on. It was one of the most rambling evaluations that I had ever heard. Another contestant said, "Well, of course, your speech reminded me of The Matrix, the film. Complex, ephemeral, and utterly charming." To say I was confused by this, well, I didn't know what to say. The final evaluator, he said, "Your speech, it was like a sumptuous, rich, velvety, supreme chocolate cake with layers of delicious, undulating slithers of divine chocolate and a rich, gooey center, which should be savoured." And he really emphasized this bit, "one gorgeous, luxurious bite at a time." I left that place, my head was spinning. There was no mention of chocolate cake, nor Matrix, nor ABC in my speech. I thought I had given a speech which was really clear and easy to follow and to understand. It turns out I was wrong. And if I could be so wrong, how I was coming across, well, then I had to review my communication style. So when I got home, I listened to the recording of my speech to see if I could spot where I had gone wrong. You see, I regularly record my speeches. It helps me to check to see how I'm doing. Look, I like to be as clear as I possibly can, but it turns out I was as clear as mud. That is to say, not very clear at all, which is not good. I needed help. But from whom? Who was I going to call? Then I remembered an old school colleague, and I gave her a call. And after she had listened to my speech, she told me, "The speech was good, but too complicated, too fussy. You can cut down the speech to the bare essentials by using the technique we use in school, which will improve it to come across and make it a better speech. We call it the telum approach." And it works like this. You start the speech, you start with step 1, tell them what you're going to tell them. Step 2, you tell them what you want to tell them, along with a few examples. And then 3, to conclude, you recap by tell them what you just told them. Very simple and powerful structure. Well, I looked at her incredulously, mouth open, about to protest, and she stopped me. She said, "Don't knock it until you've tried it. Listen again. Tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them, and then tell them what you've just told them." Well, it sounded really weird to me, but what did I have to lose? Why not give it a go? Is there anything else you can suggest? I asked. Yes, she said, as a matter of fact, there is. Clarity is the key, she said. There's a couple of things you can try. The first one is speed. You tend to speak very fast, which means that your audience has difficulty in keeping up with you. Try pausing. The pause is a very powerful tool. Let it be your friend. Try pausing for 2 to 3 seconds after a paragraph or after what you consider to be an important point, and you will find it will give your audience a short breather and give them time to take in the points before you move on to the next one. Pause, but keep looking at your audience. Interesting, pause. One final thing she says, you can slow down and then emphasize certain difficult words or passages. And this works well when you're faced with particularly tricky words that are hard to pronounce, such as ramble or rambling or ramble on. Remember, pause, slow down and emphasize, and don't ramble. Got it? Well, to this day, fellow Toastmasters, I can still hear the words, "Your speech was like a chocolate cake," resonating in my head. This experience shocked me to the core of what I thought of myself as being a speaker. And after I heard the recording of my speech and those of the evaluators, I knew I needed help. But here's a saying which I like: ask and help will come. Well, that's when I put aside my pride and asked an old colleague for help. And I'm glad I did, for her telum approach really helped me to review and to update how I was communicating. That, along with the advice to pause, slow down and emphasize, have given me a framework, one which I have used to improve my speaking. So, Toastmaster and members, if you feel your speaking is not as good as you would like it to be, so why not try the tell them approach, along with pausing, slowing down and emphasis, and see what difference it makes for you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.